Hello ratbags, it's Jade with a slightly different video today, talking about, yes I know, another colourful kiddie game. What can I say? I like playing other stuff that isn't just smashing realistic trees and making spears out of bones and wood. CUBEWORLD is a game that first appeared in 2013, maybe a little bit earlier in some sort of alphas. This game is one of the biggest games you may never actually ever play. That was the line that most people said who fondly remember CUBEWORLD growing up on seeing the gameplay, that YouTubers pretty much jumped on this and made it kind of trending. Minecraft had been out and people were starting to already look for the next big thing, and somehow this little game created by a 1-2 person team literally blew up. And that's where things start going a bit strange. There's been multiple videos made over the years talking about the demise of CUBEWORLD and why it stopped its development. Or did it stop its development? This is the first proper gameplay footage of this game produced by the creator of the game in 5 years. Other than a title screen that appeared 3 weeks ago, this has just blew up a small portion of people that remember this. So what you're looking at here is basically a game inspired by Zelda, but with a much more free roaming experience. It's meant to be a server based game where you can have multiple players running across the lands, and it's procedurally generated, or the lands just go on and on and on. This brand new gameplay footage highlights MAGE gameplay as well as a bunch of new systems the creator's been working on. I kid you not, it's been 5 years since the game was actually taken off sale. Breaking it down to as small as I can for people that already know the story and for people that just simply don't care and wonder why I'm interested in this. CUBEWORLD simply was a little bit too much hype and excitement for the creator to handle. We still don't know definitively what his reasons were, but it does seem like with the fame almost beckoning and approaching, the creator of the game, Woolley from Germany, decided just to go AWOL. The game came out in a playable state in an alpha. You had to go to a separate website to download and buy it, and just as quickly as it was on sale, it actually disappeared. The creator took it down, he took down all references of the game as well as its official website. Yet during that time he'd been speaking about updating the game regularly with content, teasing and showing screenshots on community forums. So the whole community was just a bit bemused at what was going on. This game was really interesting, lots of YouTubers had covered it, it'd blown up, people had bought it, and suddenly it seemed like the game had just been forgotten about or had stopped being developed altogether. No one really knows why the creator did this. But as I said, I think it had a lot to do with the pressure. As far as we are aware, based on what they've said in the past, it is literally him and his wife who were making this game, and he was literally doing it in his spare time. So he took the game off sale, and the only way that you've been able to play it in the last few years is by buying cracked versions, or if you were lucky enough to buy it during that phase. Yet still, it's had a big community around it. I kid you not, you can find Let's Plays today that are on Season 8 or Season 9. With so many features not necessarily there or so much missing, it's a wonder that some people have managed to keep it alive, but that's how popular this game was. So you're looking now and thinking, well, it's just Trove, surely. Minecraft versus Trove, there we go, we've had it before. But bear in mind that Trove came out after this, and I think this definitely inspired that game. And in comparison to Minecraft, yeah, there are some blocks, but that's about where it ends. The voxel based nature of the game is very much the only thing that holds these two in common. It's definitely much more like a Zelda game, running around exploring, taking on mobs, gathering and crafting resources. I'd even say it was a survival adventure game. Hence why I'm covering it. You've got RPG tropes as well, you've got characters, customization, lots of different weapons, and of course armor styles that you can buy. And it may seem colourful and cutesy, but I really think it's got something quite special about it. I'm not one to ever really be obnoxious. You see a lot of them comments sometimes on 2D games or retro style games telling people to send their games back to 1995. But truth be known, there's a reason why some of these games are still so popular, even if they are a retro looking. It's because normally the gameplay is so unique and different, and that's what we've got here with CUBEWORLD. It's not inventing the wheel, but what it is doing is offering everything in a simple, nice, easy, relaxing manner. We've had RPGs, you've had open world exploration, and you've definitely had pixel or voxelated building games. But combining it all together in an adventure series where you'd be playing on servers with other people, I don't think many people have had that. So yeah, we still have none the wiser what's going on. The creator has sporadically posted a few tweets over the last years. 2017 was pretty much the heaviest, the biggest spell that he had for a while. Bearing in mind it was already 4 years after initially the game came out in its little alpha, and then nothing for a year and a half until January 2019. This new screenshot appearing of a character flying on an eagle and some more new shots of maybe the revamped 3D map, explaining exactly what you can do with the eagle, travel to different locations on it as fast travel, and then a few more posts talking on that day about what he's doing with the shrines that basically teleport you. And then he was silent for pretty much nearly 6-7 months. Since then we've had a few more tweets and pictures culminating in this brand new gameplay footage. There is honestly an industry on YouTube in videos talking about whatever happened to CUBEWORLD. Go and watch some of them to get even more background story, and I'm sure some of them have got better information and much more concise. Apologies if I have got anything wrong. But what I am really interested in is whether or not this game will actually ever come out. And also just talking about the simplistic nature of it, but why it's so compelling. When you think about survival games, a big part of that is exploring and coming across different enemies, different locations, finding places to build bases. As far as I'm aware, you don't necessarily build bases in this game, but the exploration and coming across different style mobs that you're going to have to counter and work out how to fight is a crucial part, and the simplicity in its design really stands out. There are a whole host of different mobs and enemy types, some are much stronger than you. In fact, the game is actually notoriously quite hard. It has a bunch of different caves and dungeons to explore as well. So the big question is, are we ever actually going to see this release? I don't want to say anything definitive. Clearly we've seen a creator battling at odds with either private stuff going on with their life or simply someone that just isn't prepared for the limelight. The game literally received 2 bug update fixes within the month or 2 of it going live on its alpha, before, as I said, being shut down and no further content updates being delivered. Has he just simply been working on it for the last 5 years in secret? There is an email circulating from January this year which does reference a lot of changes, including that gold is now going to be the main currency that you'll be using to buy all sorts. You can now fast travel using the gold, and multiplayer you will spawn in different areas of the world, but you'll be able to use the gold to teleport to your friends or fly to your friends without any cost. This supposed email as well also says that questing has maybe taken a bit of more of a reduced role, and it's all about freedom. You can go out there just exploring and the quests are something to do, but equally you can go out there and find monuments and scrolls and items that will also start off mini quests, or where you have to just find some sort of monument. There has never been an interview recorded with the creator as far as I'm aware, and even now there's only a few people claiming that they've got messages in Discord talking about the game and about possibly some more plans for screenshots and more teases. It is one of the craziest things going on. You could bet Epic Games Store would literally throw him a few million to get this game under its wing. And if you are still sitting there going, Jade, this ain't the one, you know, go back to when you was a kid, when you saw a game and you think about how much nostalgia that brings. Go back to a game that you couldn't maybe play because it was older for you. And this is the similar sort of situation. The 9 and 10-year-old kids that were watching this 5 or 6 years ago are now in their teens. And rather than actually think that this game still maybe isn't the one for them anymore, they'd be desperate to play it. I know plenty of rat bags following my channel, and even now when they've grown up a little bit more from the 10, 11-year-olds that they were, they would still maybe hop on Roblox occasionally. Why? Because there is something comforting and nostalgic, and that's what CUBEWORLD really is. It's the ultimate sweetie that you can't have. You think about it all the time, you really want to play it and have it, but you're just simply not allowed because it's not maybe good for you. And to demonstrate exactly why this is so popular, take a look at the actual views on this video. 163,000 views in the last 2 days. 81,000 subscribers for a channel, with only 3 of them videos actually appearing in the last 5 years. You can clearly see the CUBEWORLD Explorers video 1.4 million 6 years ago, and you can really see the first steps of the game appearing 8 years ago. You can go searching around, and if anyone knows any more information about this, let me know in the comment section. Lots of the websites are now back up and running properly, so maybe they are indeed about to release it one day. I promise you right now, if this game did come out in early access next week on Steam, or did manage to appear on the Epic Games Store, it would be a bona fide sensation once more. For sure, things have moved on. There are definitely lots of games that have come out since. As I mentioned, Trove is a big free-to-play MMO, very much like this, voxel based, but it doesn't seem to have the same sort of feel that a lot of people remember CUBEWORLD having. We've seen other games that have took on the voxel based nature, like Portal Knights, which does a pretty good job of questing and taking on big bosses, and some downright rip-offs like Pixark. CUBEWORLD definitely still has a place in today's modern gaming, just it's a wonder if we'll ever see it. Let me know if you remember CUBEWORLD, let me know if this has any interest to you whatsoever. I'm going to keep you guys posted. If there's any more news information about this, I will try and give you the heads up. And if you do know a little bit more than I do, absolutely fill me in. I'd love to hear any more of the history and the story of CUBEWORLD. So until then, I will see you ratbags later.